Leatherneck Nation, we're back. Welcome to the second episode of Leatherneck Insider of the fall season. My name is Aiden Dursine.
I'm Caleb Mays. It's now time for Leatherneck Insider Athlete of the Week. We're heading back out to volleyball for the second week in a row. Caden Strins with the story.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider Athlete of the Week. This week I am with the winner, Maggie Craker. Maggie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you. This past week over at the North Dakota Classic, you had 30 assists in 2 of the 3 matches. Currently, you are top in the OVC in assists as well as top 10 all-time for the Leathernecks in assists. What do these honors mean to you?
Yeah, it's just kind of all the hard work paying off as a senior. It's special to me, but especially as a setter, it's just, especially volleyball in general, it's just a team sport. I can't do it without my hitters or the people that pass me the ball. So, that's what I love about volleyball, is that it's a team sport. So all kudos to my teammates.
Conference play is coming up in just over a week from now. You have one more tournament left. What is your team heavily focused on heading into this conference play starting?
Yeah, we're excited for conference. I think we're a lot better this year, and so then conference is your way to see that improvement from those common opponents from last year. We're focusing on being us, ball control, and yeah.
And then, what made you interested in volleyball growing up? Obviously, you've played here all 4 years. What made you say, I want to do this sport?
I think just being a college athlete was my dream ever since I was in middle school, and I fell in love with volleyball early. I had some really great coaches growing up, and then Western stood out to me, and I'm glad that I was been a loyal Leatherneck for 4 years. So it's been my life forever.
Well, thank you so much, Maggie Craker, this week's Leatherneck Insider Athlete of the Week winner, and for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Caden Strens.
Thanks, Caden. The Leathernecks are currently battling it out at the CSU tournament in Charleston, South Carolina. They take on Sacred Heart today at 10 a.m.
WIU football team drops to 0-3 to start the season, but their offense looked pretty promising against Illinois State. Starting quarterback Nate Lamb, the senior from Tulare, California, set a new program record completing his first 11 passes. Lamb also went 24 for 33 passing for 269 yards and a touchdown. He also had 3 touchdowns on the ground. Lamb was also named Big South OVC Co-Offensive Player of the Week. On the receiving end, the Leathernecks had 3 different receivers that had 5 or more receptions, with junior receiver Matthew Henry going for 7 catches and 104 yards. The Leathernecks look to use this momentum to finally get a win at their home opener against McKendree College September 28th.
Stick around. Coming up after the break, we explore soccer, softball, and volleyball. See you soon.
Your vision.
My goal is to work at a top 100 television station as a reporter, anchor, and a producer.
Our mission.
Thanks to Western, I have a resume that would beat out most students from the top journalism schools in the country.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Welcome back to Slee Hall. WIU soccer sits at a record of 3-3-1 to start the season. Sophomore forward Xavier Gagnon leads the team in goals with 3 on the season. Leatherneck insider reporter Kobe Blackmon got a chance to speak with him.
WIU men's soccer now sit at a record of 3-3-1 on the season. I got a chance to speak with sophomore forward who leads the team in goals, Xavier Gagnon, on how the coaches and his teammates got him there.
So I think it's pretty nice to be the top scorer and leading them for right now. I think it's a lot on the team too, because without them I couldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. The coach is helping me by putting me in position where I can exploit my abilities, score some goals I'm really excited for the rest of the season.
Sure. Gonzaga coming up, bigger school. Do you take it any differently, or do you just prepare the same to come out and play?
We're preparing the same as we used to be, because it's going to be probably our biggest opponent this year, and they already beat 2 OVC teams, so it's a pretty big test for us to prepare for the OVC championship, and they just beat a number 9 ranked team yesterday. So we don't prepare differently than any other team. We're just going to give it all and see what we get.
Yeah. I see you are from Canada. Mm-hmm. What would you say, I know you probably had this question many times, but what would you say is the biggest difference between here
I would
America? Just any difference, it doesn't have to be sports, but
physical. Like, it's really much more physical here. The guys are all athletic, they're fast, they're big, they use their body. It's really different than back home. Back home, it's more of a technical game, but here it's really emphasis on like how big you are, how you can hold the ball, how fast can you run, how long can you run. So I would probably say that's the biggest difference.
I'm Kobe Blackmon, reporter from Leatherneck Insider.
Thanks, Kobe. The team will take on the IU Indy Jaguars Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Now going from the men to the women. The WIU women's soccer team are currently in a 3-game road trip, playing 2 out of the 3 games. Leatherneck Insider reporter Ben Polanca with more.
The WIU women's soccer team are about to conclude their 3-game road trip this weekend. The Leathernecks have lost 2 out of the 3 games so far in this road trip, losing the first game against St. Thomas 2-0 and lost the second game against Drake 2-1. WIU women's soccer head coach Jose Primiu talks about their preparation for their upcoming game.
This is a big weekend for us. It's something that we've been waiting for and preparing for all season. I think most coaches would use their non-conference season as kind of that stepping stone to, hey, this is what we need to do to prepare, make sure we have everything kind of figured out or a lot of our questions answered, and that's what we've been doing up to this point. So this week is a big prep week for us, both on the field, in the classroom, physically, mentally, making sure that the girls are ready to go for kind of like this next season that we're going into.
Alexis Becker scored for the Leathernecks against Drake, snapping a 4-game scoreless streak. Coach Primiu gives her thoughts on Becker's goal.
Alexis scoring was amazing for her and for the team, but you know, for her, the minutes haven't necessarily been there, I think, for her this whole season, and myself and our coaching staff, during the Drake game, we were looking at each other thinking, how can we try to reassure our defense and just try to bring someone in who can calm things down, move the ball, and give us a little bit more confidence, and Alexis came in and she did exactly that.
For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Ben Polanca.
The Leathernecks will be back in action tomorrow at Linda 1 at 1 p.m. to end the road trip and also start OVC conference play.
Many of us have lifetime memories during the summertime. Elisa Goller has one that she will never forget. Leatherneck Insider reporter Caden Strins has more.
This summer, WIU softball coach Elisa Goller took on a new challenge, being an assistant coach for the U18 women's national team. Goller said that she learned a lot with this experience.
It was a lot of learning, which I hoped it would be. I had the opportunity to work like a camp that had 3 different staffs. It had the national team staff, it had the Japan team that I went with, and then it had the 18 team that I was also on. And those are a lot of really well-established coaches. They've had a ton of success. Being able to just be around that and pick their brain, compare what we teach here versus there, it was just, I left feeling both kind of validated, but also that I had new things that I was learning.
It wasn't all just about the experience, though. Goller's team was in a spot to punch their ticket to the 2025 finals.
The Dallas one was a qualifier, so you were playing for not just bragging rights, like you were actually playing to qualify for Worlds, and we did, so Worlds will be in a year back in Dallas.
Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Caden Strens.
Thank you, Caden. Over on the court, the Western Illinois volleyball team traveled to North Dakota last weekend to play in the UND Classic, where they took on Belmont and North Dakota, dropping both of those matches on Friday in 3 sets. However, Western rallied back to beat Belmont on Saturday, being the team to capture 3 sets and the match. Despite going winless on that Friday, not everything was a disappointment for the Leathernecks, especially for senior setter Maggie Craker, who now ranks 5th all-time in WIU volleyball history for assists with 2,363 and counting. Congrats, Maggie. The Leathernecks are currently in Charleston, South Carolina for the Charleston Southern Tournament. They play against Sacred Heart at 10 a.m. today. We're going to head into a quick break. Up next, Pars and Aces. Later, Kobe's Corner is making a comeback. You won't want to miss it.
Not W? It's not W, it's W. 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 That's what I've been stressing out about the most so far. Is saying W, because I know it's something you're going to say right. Yeah, we've been there.
They're like, we're waiting on, what are we waiting on?
They haven't said anything. So we're ready to go. We can start.
am Will Thomas.
And I'm Dane Mackley. Welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. It's now time to head to the golf course.
WIU men's golf team just wrapped up their first tournament of the year, finishing 18th in the SIUE Dolink Internet Invitational with a team score of 53 over. Three freshmen traveled and played for the Leathernecks, highlighted by Owen Howe, who finished tied 56 with a score of 9 over. Rounding out the freshman performances, Maverick Schwab finished tied 79th at 15 over, and Tegan Toll finished tied 84th at 18 over. The Leathernecks are back in action for the Zach Johnson Invitational in Des Moines on September 23rd.
The WIU women's golf team just finished their second tournament of the season. At the Brittany Kelly Classic in Yorkville, Indiana, the Leathernecks placed 10th in the tournament behind key performances from their top players. Olivia Kerr led the bunch with a tie at 14th and a final score of 7 over and a combined score of 1 over through her last 2 rounds. Mia Scrimjaw shot a 75 in round 3 to improve her finish, tied at 44 and shooting 19 over for the tournament. And Abby Hunter finished us off tied at 48th with a final score of 21 over. The Leathernecks are back on the road for the Big O Classic in Omaha, Nebraska on September 30th.
The WIU women's tennis team recently started their short fall season at the SIUE Cougar Invite. Leatherneck Insider reporter Luke Little caught up with head coach Luke Ogren about the recent meet and the upcoming slate of matches.
The WIU women's tennis team had a strong opening to the season, going 3-4 overall. The team was led by senior Paige Grice, who went 3-0 in singles play and 2-1 in doubles. Head coach Luke Ogren talked about her performance at the Cougar Invite and her performance over the summer.
She's been great. The summer performance from her, incredible. So we knew that there was a chance that she'd go on a run again here. She made summer ITA Nationals, which only 32 players in the country go to. And then, yeah, she showed up and she beat some of the best players in our conference. She beat a lot of very good opponents this first weekend, and I think that's a testament to the work she put in over the summer and the work she puts in when she's here every day.
Coach Ogren also talked about the difference between last season and this one, and what his expectations are for the upcoming year.
Yeah, I just think it's, our talent level is drastically improved, and I think we can compete at a completely different level than we could before. So, a lot of teams that we might have lost 7-0 to last year, we're now going to have a chance to beat. And that's just a super exciting thing for them, and being able to see that, this young talent has already started winning, it's going to be a big difference maker for us. Yeah. No, we looked very, very good to start the year, so it's an exciting time for sure. They've had a lot of good things happening, and, they've bought in really well right away, so definitely exciting time to be a Leatherneck tennis player.
Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Luke Little.
Thank you, Luke. The Leatherneck tennis team is off at the Ohio Valley Conference Individuals preseason tournament today and will last into tomorrow afternoon. Coming up after the break, it's Kobe's Corner with a special guest appearance. Guess you'll have to see after the break.
Western Illinois University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
Taking me home, taking me home.
Here, I engineer the future.
Here, I have countless opportunities.
Here, I do research.
Right here at Western.
Welcome back, Leathernecks. We want to give you guys a big thank you for tuning into today's episode. Although we are almost out of time, we still have a couple of announcements. Go ahead, Caleb.
On to some high school sports. Macomb High football has started their season 3-0. The Bombers really a strong team all around. Junior wide receiver Drew Watson is averaging 65 yards a game and no slack in the ground game either. Senior running back Malachi Conley is averaging 87 yards a game. And on the other side of the ball, senior linebacker Drake May is averaging 15 tackles, a game-wrecking stat. The Bombers will take on the West Hancock Titans Friday at 7 p.m.
Over to the court, the Macomb High volleyball team is off to a great start. The Bombers have won their first 11 matches and have yet to lose a set this season. In their most recent match on Tuesday, the Bombers beat Farmington in 2 sets, 25-13, in set 1 and 25-9 in set 2. The Bombers have 3 matches this weekend, including matches against Barry Western and Monmouth Roseville. Caleb, I think it's now time to introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Kobe Blackmon, into the studio for Kobe's Corner, joined by Caleb Flores. Well, Kobe and Caleb, what do you have for us?
Welcome to the second week of Kobe's Corner. I'm joined with Leatherneck insider reporter Caleb Flores, and a lot of football over the weekend. Let's get right into it. Caleb, week 3 of college football wrapped up, and we saw some good games. But one major story is Georgia barely getting a win against Kentucky. Should we be worried?
Absolutely. Georgia only escaped in Lexington by 1 point, and looking up their next 6 games, they have Alabama, Texas, and Ole Miss all on the road. So they should face a tough challenge.
Yeah, definitely some tough opponents coming up. Also, the new AP poll came out this week. Is there any team that jumped or dropped that surprised you?
Not in particular. I think NIU being at 23 is definitely a story, and we'll see if they can hold that position.
Yeah, another Illinois team right behind them, Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and Fighting Illini. So some good football being played in Illinois. Down into the swamps, the Florida Gators are 1-2 to start the season, and a lot of tough opponents ahead of them. What are your expectations for the team?
Florida definitely has one of the toughest schedules in college football. Coach Billy Napier is definitely on the hot seat. I'd say they're projected to win 2-3 games this season, and the only real standout and hype for Florida is their true freshman quarterback, DJ Lagway, who's the promise for the Swamp.
Yeah, college football is definitely a different type of game, especially when you're playing those ranked opponents. Now, moving on into Jacksonville, Jaguars now 0-2. What would you say is one of the problems they have? You know, you got Trevor Lawrence just signed that big contract as well, kind of not really living up to the hype. What would you say is one of the problems they have?
I can definitely back you up on that. Trevor Lawrence is labeled as generational coming into the league. He has not backed that up. But the Jaguars have lost 2 nail-biters to the Browns and Dolphins, 2 good teams. So I wouldn't be too worried about the Jaguars. I see them win about 6-7 games this season. They'll turn it around. Around.
Staying in Florida, Tua Tagovailoa suffered another concussion, his 4th in 2 years. Is it time for him to hang it up?
According to many doctors, Tua is not in the best condition to play football anymore. 3 concussions in the league, 1 at Alabama. Even his former coach, Nick Saban, thinks that he should retire and prioritize his health over football.
Yeah, it seems like Tua is failing to protect himself on the field, so I think it's time to think for that future instead of the present. So I think he should retire. That's all the time. That's all the time we're going to wrap it up for. That's going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you, Caleb, for joining me. We will see you next week for another segment of Kobe's Corner.
Thanks, Kobe. What stood out for you today in Kobe's Corner, Aiden?
Caleb, I really think, the thing with Tua getting his 4th concussion, that's way too many concussions one person should have. I think he should retire. I think it's just the smartest, option for him.
Yeah, absolutely. You always have to prioritize your health over playing football sometimes. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at InsiderWIU. And if you want more Macomb area news, make sure you check out News Free, streaming live on YouTube every Thursday at 4 p.m. For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Caleb Mays.
And I'm Aiden Dursine. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. This is Dursine and Mays, signing off.